So here's the tailplane, horizontal stabiliser and elevator. To be honest, I find it hard to remember which one I repaired. No, I didn't. This is where the broken hinge was. This was creased. This was fine. It's torn a bit at the end, which I glued. This was coming off, so I've glued that. Full travel. And I've stuck these in because they help stop this piece here twist. So they're actually glued in now. I've got to clear it up a bit. But that's just drying now. It's done. Okay, so the build's going together very well. I think I've repaired everything I need to repair. These are the two new servos. They're 9-gram servos and they're metal gear. They're called Tower Pro MG9 OS. But they've got metal gearing in them. So those two will replace the rudder and elevator. So at the moment I am steaming some of the foam. When it impacted literally here, I've got grass stains over it, so the steam will lift that off anyway. But what happened was this split, which I've glued back together, but this got compressed. So when you put this on now, there's quite a gap here, quite a big gap. And I just thought I'd see if I can relieve it by putting a bit of steam on it. I use a Vax handheld steamer. It's got this hose and you can just direct it where you want rather than have running water all over it, but you do need tissue because steam is water. When it touches a cold surface it condenses. So there we go, but basically that's all done. I've done well, not a few, I've done one modification on it while I've got it in pieces, and what that is the bind port. I've put it here in the side of the fuselage. They used to have the wire coming out into here and it used to really annoy me because it got tangled up with the battery. Or if you pushed it through and you tried to get it out, you couldn't. I thought, what the heck? So I put that in there. There's the scar from the crack that came down this side. The way this one's been treated, it's got cocktail sticks going through the crack or the split at this level here and then deeper down into there from this side. This one, clean it up a bit, but there's the scar. You see it here, it actually came down. That one, I've got two pegs going straight down through there. They go straight down through it. And then I've got one here, you can hardly see, which goes in at a cross angle. That's as you can see, perfectly good. Join this back together because this is all split open, and this is where it has crumpled, so I've used the steamer on that already and it's not bad. The other thing I did here was put a couple of cocktail sticks through at that angle just to pin it a bit. So that's done. So I'm happy with that. Moving up through the fuselage. Well, that's a bit of foam I just cut out from my AS3X binding port. Rudder servo and elevator servo gears had shredded. The rest of it is fine until you come to the tail, and it had basically sheared off from here all the way around. There's just this tiny bit of foam at this point holding the whole thing on. It's just tipping back. This hasn't been pinned at all. All I've done is re-glue it, but I'm happy with it. It's absolutely fine. It's rock solid. Cosmetically, it's a scar. It doesn't look particularly good, but there you go. It's got a few scrapes and scuffs and the odd crease here and there, but apart from that, the rudder's absolutely fine. The light works, no problem. Then we come to the elevator and horizontal stabilizers. Well, one whole side of the elevator connector, this side, had come adrift, and the whole hinge had come out. So this has been rehinged using foam tack. These had been put back in because this one here, I think, came out and it ripped this off. And the only thing keeping this together was a tiny bit of foam here. These have actually been glued in now. When I was flying with the camera pointing at the tail, these things were flapping all over the place. So I've glued those in. This tape here is purely to stop those screws vibrate out. So I've screwed them in. They are going into plastic, so I didn't want to use Loctite. I could have put a dab of foam tack over there, but as I had the tape out, I just thought I'd tape over them. So even if they do start to vibrate loose, they're not going anywhere. They're staying where they are. So that's the tail surface all done. Undercarriage, not a problem because it crashed like that, so that was on the top. I've checked it, it's fine. I'll give that another steam in a minute. This, the wings, well, the nacelles are back on. Both nacelles have come off, so they're stuck back on. This flap was broken across here and this was sticking up. It's been completely rehinged and glued back together. And on the underside of this, I have of course disconnected the push rod and I've played with the hinge and it's fine, and I've just put this strip of fibre reinforced tape across it just to give this a bit more support as it pivots on the hinge. But that's fine now. All the lights work, all the flaps, ailerons work. This wing here had a split in it right across up to here. You can see the split when I push that down to there. So that's been glued back together. It's got several cocktail sticks going in all at different angles. You can see one there and one here. So what I've done, I put a strip of black tape there, I put a strip of black tape there just to even it out. And I've got some fibre reinforced tape across the split or the crack here. And this is being glued with foam tack as well. Yeah. I don't think there's anything else I need to go through. just have to keep at it. So I've just finished putting the Velcro on for the cameras here instead of back here, so the camera can sit much further forward. Get some good angle, should get a good prop angle from that, and it's staggered and cut across the hatch, so I can take the hatch off, but it does mean that I'm not relying on the magnet and the tongue and groove to keep my camera in place. So I can mount the camera across this rather than back here where I had it, and I've seen a lot of other people do that. There's a bit of tape, packing tape all over that, because if you put the Velcro on the foam it tends to pull away easier, but if you have it on packing tape then of course it's stuck firmly to the packing tape, and the packing tape has a much larger area when it's sticking on the foam. That's good, it's all done. That bit anyway. Got my bind port down here. So what I've done here, I've centered this new servo, connected the horn, and I've screwed it back in. Now these screws have got a tiny bit of foam tack on them just to make them a little secure. I noticed they were quite easy to unscrew from the holes. Tidied up this cabling a bit. So this is all neat over this side, this will be neat over here. I've just got to put the elevator on and plug it into channel 3 and then job's done. Just finished installing the elevator. This is a metal gear as well, don't need it but it's what I had. So the rudder's installed up here. It looks okay, it might need the trim, but... And the elevator's here, centered, reconnected. And to be honest, that looks pretty okay. Existing horns from the original servos, existing screw from the original servos, same as the mounting screws. The only thing I've replaced is the actual servo. So I suppose now the only thing I need to do is test them out on the transmitter. Let's go and do that now. They seem to be moving okay.
Landing flaps. Take off flaps. Flaps up. High rates.
Elevator. Not much movement on it.
Low rates.
Rudder. Right rudder, left rudder.
High rates.
Right rudder. Wheels turning right, wheels turning left. So that rudder's offset. I have to change the rudder, but I'm gonna do it on the clevis. Yep, I'll do the rudder on the clevis.
Throttle cut on. AS3X mode.
So that comes up. Well, let's do it full rate, safe.
Stability mode.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Yeah. Right then.
Stability mode. Low rates.
Job done. Well, that's all I can do for now. Once I've got the props, I can do a fine tune of the centre of gravity. But with the standard battery I use in, it's balancing pretty good on the centre of gravity actually. And with the props on, I think it would probably be slightly nose heavy. I've just realised the problem with putting my cameras here is that they're forward of the centre of gravity line, which is about here, and that's why I had the Velcro here, so I could put the camera on it and it'd be on the centre of gravity. I'll have to see how much it's affected and counterweight it at the end. well, that's the repair of the Twin Otter. So thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay well. I look forward to you joining me on its remaiden. Cheers.